Hey guys, Mr. 3D Hero here. In today's video for my Loadout series, I'm going to bring you a loadout and a challenge as well. This loadout I like to call is the 1-2 loadout challenge. And it's going to be quite simple. It's going to involve you switching your weapon upon each kill. And literally that's kind of just it really. But it's quite easy, I say it's quite a relatively easy to hard challenge depending on the type of weapon you use and the type of loadout you want to go with. Because you might want to change up the loadout that I currently have to something that feels a bit more better in terms for you, or a bit more difficult depending on your playstyle and such. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. So the 1-2 challenge is, like I said, it's quite simple. You basically get your primary weapon and you get a secondary weapon. Ideally you'll focus on pilot versus pilot for a game mode, and upon each kill you get with your primary weapon, you switch to your secondary. And then when you get a kill with your secondary, you move to your primary. And you repeat this process back and forth until you get either killed or until until the game ends basically. So try to think of it as a streak to see how long you can go on for. Now I think the longest I've gone on for a kill streak is at least 10 at best. But it depends on the map. And for example, if you do it on complex, you could probably have a more easier time with pulling it off for your teammates and more small areas. On bigger maps though, such as Eden or Forward Base Kodai, it could be a bit more harder to pull off because enemies could come down from anywhere and anywhere, so it's a bit more harder to try to achieve it. But anyways, let's go into the main loadout. A class now is going to be the phase shift. That's going to allow us to basically get in and out of danger as quickly as possible, and it will also allow us to kind of switch and reload both our weapons in tough situations. A primary is going to be Alternator. The Alternator is, I would say, a relatively powerful SMG that I don't heavily use all the time because it's not really my most favourite SMG in the game, but when amped up it is an absolutely broken godly weapon that I recommend everyone go ahead and try to use every once in a while. Secondary now is going to be the Wingman Elite. This is what basically allows us to cover both close, medium and long range distances, specifically long ranges, because in this situation here you don't know what type of map you're going to be placed on, so you're going to need a weapon that's capable of taking people out from very long distances and capable of, I would say, taking on people and instant killing them in one shot if aimed for the head. Our ordnance is going to be Satchel. Satchel is quite a rare ordnance I don't see a lot of people use, but when you do use it, it is absolutely amazing ordnance that has kind of the blast radius of 2 frag grenades and is great for clearing out areas. If you're that type of person, I do recommend that you go ahead and use it, as I do love it, honestly. Our boost now will be Amped Weapon. Amped Weapon basically allows us to improve the damage of a currently primary and secondary weapon. Now I know for a fact that for a primary weapon for our Alternator, it makes it, I believe, a 2 or 3 shot to a now 2 shot, so it becomes even more lethal and even more broken. That's why a lot of players, or pro players, tend to go with this type of weapon. Wingman Elite, I believe Wingman Elite doesn't get this boost because of its projectile and because it doesn't really, well, in general, I think it just doesn't have any effect whatsoever. I know that with normal Wingman becomes an instant, I believe, 1 shot if it becomes amped, but for this one here, this Wingman Elite, it doesn't get amped. So in favour for those that want to make a Wingman Elite that is dangerous from all areas and projectile, it won't get the effect heavily. So it's kind of up to you what you want to go with. You can always change it to something that plays within your own style, but I only chose this so it allows me to accommodate my main primary weapon and allow me to take out pilot as quickly as possible, and then hopefully allow me to win more gunfights than normal. Because this type of challenge here is going to be quite difficult to pull off in very heated situations. And lastly, a 2 pilot kit is going to be fast regeneration and 2 reports. You can always change these. I don't always recommend that you go with these, but I just chose to go with these simply because it offers the best in uniqueness on the battlefield and the best survivability on the battlefield to use. So let's go to the gameplay. Gameplay wise, when you're using this, the whole point of this challenge is to literally get a kill and switch it between each weapon for each kill. So you go off, you kill a normal player on, say for example, Eden, use your main primary weapon, you kill them, then you switch to your secondary. You kill someone using your secondary, you switch to your primary, and you do this back and forth until you get yourself a very high kill streak. Now I did this for a fun activity for you to do. In many ways, it's kind of like a challenge. You can always rally up your tally to see how far and how long you can survive using both weapons for long periods and switching them out in and out. Now, you don't always have to use these two primary and secondary weapons. You can always go with something else that fits you. You can go with L-Star and the P2016, or you can go with the SMR and the RV45. You can go with anything you like, but I chose these two here simply because they both have disadvantages and advantages. For example, Alternator is not that great at long distances. If you tap it, then yes, but at most times, most players will end up just disappearing within that short amount of time. But by me adding in the Wingman Elite will allow me to cover that specific ground that the Alternator fails. Now, the Wingman Elite fails in close range and medium range situations at times. But with the Alternator, it'll basically allow me to hit fire and take out pilots at a quicker pace. Add in Amped Weapon, and it makes me even more dangerous on the battlefield. So in general gameplay wise, I just kind of try to stay on my toes and try to get the catch on people. I would honestly recommend that you try and get the catch on the other people. Either stick with your teammates and allow them to support and take all the fire, or you can, although it's quite risky, you can go off and flank. Now, the only problem with flanking is that on some maps it doesn't always work. In some maps, some players will be aware that they could be attacked from behind, and they may always end up laying a trap down to where you may go off and advance and you may not have the best chances of taking them on. This is where I would recommend you kind of plan out how you want to do this. And this is why I also recommend that if you're going to use phase shift, because phase shift can be effective and dangerous, it's not always going to be within your favor. You're not always going to win, because you know it's always based on connection. So if you have really good connection and use phase shift before you die, yes, you may win and you may survive. If you don't, then the majority of times you're going to end up dying, and it's going to be your fault, or it's going to be the other teammate's fault. So if you want to avoid this, I recommend that for your Alternator, go with Tactical or Power Cell. This will basically allow you to regenerate your class ability at a much quicker pace, and then you could probably go off and flank a bit more. But it also allows you to be a bit more aggressive as well, although risky but very aggressive. So personally, I find that it's quite a fun loadout. You can always mix this up. You can always change it to your own playstyle. I use the Satchel a lot, and Satchel is great for taking out big groups of enemies. Like I said about the flanking part, if you want to go off and flank enemy team, get behind them, throw a Satchel charge in the middle of them, and watch the numbers rise. And then with my Alternator, it basically allows me to create a tally of how many people I have taken out and killed within a short period of time. Using Alternator is powerful in close range and medium, and use the Wingman's powerful at long ranges. This has kind of balanced it out, so I'm effective all round. But at the same time, you have to switch out your ability, and you have to switch out your weapons for each kill, and it can become quite frustrating if you're the type of person that can't keep up with this. But if you're in it for a challenge and you want to do this challenge with other friends and people to see who is the best person to use and alternate between different weapons, this is probably heavily recommended for you. If not, then do this for fun, because I always got more to bring you. So that's the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then leave a comment in the comment section, leave a like, leave a dislike, or even better, subscribe. Subscribing really does help my channel out, and it really does improve my content even further to bring you something new, something more exciting to bring you every day, or every week, or every few days, whatever I feel like. So thank you all for watching. I do hope to see you all again soon.